doing on another fantastic sucker-free DAY. Me? Absolutely fabulous. And it is my hopes that you two are having a very fabulous day. Because if you're not, shame on you. Yeah, it's been a couple of days, but I'm still here. Still working behind the scenes, getting ready for next year. Next year is my year. What about you? If next year is not your year and it hasn't been this year, what's wrong with your thinking? Yeah. And for everybody that's out there in the chat room, I want to thank you for being here because you could have been doing something else with someone else, but you decided to stop by here to see what we had to say. And we want to thank you for that. And if this is your first time watching this channel, we ask that you press the subscribe button, hit the notification bell and the word all to help ensure that you get notifications when we upload videos here on YOUTUBE. Yeah. Today is sort of like it's an overcast. There's really no sun outside today. There's sun, but we don't have none. Not today. The sky is full of clouds. Well, seeing that we are in a cloud, living in the time in which we are, and Thanksgiving is coming up with a cloudy future or an uncertain future, what are you thankful for? Are you thankful for those food stamps? Are you thanking the universe or whomever you thankful to have a place to stay? Are you thankful for your job? Because many people don't have a job. Even all of those federal workers. Should you be thankful that you're able to purchase $200 gym shoes? Should you be thankful that you're able to purchase a $1,000 women's tote bag? You know, one of those Bergen bags. Are you thankful for that? Are you thankful for the car that you don't own, that you're consistently paying notes for to a bank? Are you thankful for that? Some things you can be thankful for. In fact, you can be thankful for all of it. Now, this is the greatest country in the world from what they say today. The land of great opportunity, the great melting pot, where even the government who govern the people and the citizens in which live in the country at one point wanted them to starve. But there were some good people who you should be thankful for, who didn't agree with the evil plan. We just chopping it up. We just chopping it up. Are you thankful for the slaughter of people whom this holiday, Thanksgiving Day, is based upon? What are you thankful for? Hey, everybody that's out there in the chat room, I want to thank you for being here, because you could have been doing something else with someone else. But thank you for being here. We appreciate you. We tip our hat to you. And we ask that everybody out there share the like button. Yeah, smash the like button. Smash the share button and hit the subscribe button. That's what we ask everybody out there right now in the chat room to do. Thank you. Yeah, well, I'm just thankful to be alive today. I'm thankful to be alive. I'm not thankful for the holidays or anything like that. But I am thankful to be alive and to be an example of to someone else, a younger person, of a righteous minded, Each one is supposed to teach one. Are you doing that? And I found that a lot of real teachers out here are broke. Real teachers out here are broke. Not like broke. You got those professors and all of those, them people, those educators. But even those educators, what do professors make? $150, some up to $200,000 a year. But the educators, the doctors, the nurses, what do you do that is anything of value that you're thankful for? Me, that I'm able to teach people, that I'm able to reach young men, young women. I'm able to help my neighbor. I'm glad that I'm able to think. I'm glad that and thankful that I'm able to be a mechanical type of worker. Yeah, you got to think. Mechanics is thinking, and thinking is mechanics, and so is math. Yeah. What do you do, or what are you thankful for in your own talent that you're thankful for? Screw the holidays. And speaking of holidays, everybody is supposed to be broke, right? The government is just supposed to have been coming back open, and all of these people are being laid off, and all of these companies are closing every day since that, the government is on the shutdown. Well, it was on a shutdown. But the holiday season is what I'm talking about. Are you thankful for that you're able to spend $1 trillion in this holiday season? This is according to the economic experts that was on the news. They say that this holiday is going to set a record with numbers. How can it set a record with numbers when society is supposed to be at one of its lowest points right now? I'm just saying. How does that work? How does that work? They say they got 50,000 flights across America for the Thanksgiving holiday. Where's all this money coming from if everybody's broke? Where's it coming from? All these federal workers laid off. People have no jobs. I mean, meat factories, FedEx, UPS, Amazon. All of these people are being laid off. But everybody still got money, even for these NFL games that's coming up. Have you seen the tickets for a game? Where are these people getting the money from? I'm just saying, are you thankful for that? And if you're able to purchase something in America, if you're able to purchase something in America equally, like gym shoes, like clothing, is that a privilege? I'm thankful for that as well, that I can walk in the store in the money and buy what I want to buy if I have the money to buy it. I'm thankful for that. We're just chopping it up. What about you? Well, I know someone who's not thankful. Do you remember Morgan Geyser? Morgan Geyser, the Slender Man murderer? Yeah, the young girl who had got time in Wisconsin. They put her in a mental institution, but she escaped from the mental institution where she was transferring to a halfway house and left the halfway house and went to Chicago. Yeah. And she's in Cook County Jail right now. They reapprehended her. They are going to extradite her as soon as they can back to Waukesha, Wisconsin. She deserved to get caught. Do you remember that stabbing that took place like in 2014 when she stabbed her classmate to death? Playing the character of Slender Man? Yeah, the Morgan Geyser girl. Yeah. The crazy chick has been reapprehended. Yeah, apprehended. We just, kicking it. We just kicking it, just chopping it up. And speaking of chopping it up, Brett the Hitman, have you heard what he said? Have you heard what he said about Shawn Michaels and Vince McMahon? Yeah, they both like the donut hole with Dookie on their disco wand. I'm just... For all of you wrestler fans that's out there. Insane. All of these men wearing all of these tights, smacking each other on the buttocks, on their ass cheeks. And then to come find out, allegedly, according to Brett the Hitman, that Vince McMahon and Shawn Michaels are sugar booties and they were lovers. Whew. Are these the people that you want to watch on television? Are these the people that you really want to watch on television? So the next time you looking at WWF, WWE, can you imagine that? Are you surprised? I was surprised to read that. I was. I was also surprised to read about Florida. Did you know that Florida made a law, proposing a law, that if you sexually assault a child under the age of 12, you automatically face the death penalty? I'm with that. I'm with that. That should be all around the country. What do you think? Now, that bill, if it hasn't passed, should pass, and I really think that it had passed, But I think that law should be all across the nation. In fact about it, talking about chopping it up, how about we just chop that person up? And let that be justice. Seeing that we're chopping it up, how about we chop up the culprit who committed the infamous act of sexually assaulting a child? Yeah, just chop him up. Throw him in a bucket. Feed him to the pigs, Let the vultures and birds eat off of him, Anyway, what do you think? What are the laws in your country, in your town, your city, and your state in regards to sexual assault with the minor? What would you do if someone sexually assaults your child, which is a minor? Would you want them chopped up? Would you want them on the firing squad, to get shot at and dealt with like that? Or would you want them to spend 20 years in prison? Or would you want to kill them yourself without having to go to prison? There's a lot of options here. If you were king or queen in a land or a town, and you wrote the laws and made the laws, what would you do with those type of people? Huh? Allegedly, we got some of those people right now ruling us that's in office. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Yeah. What would you do to that? To that person? To those people? Excuse me. Because according to the reports, allegedly, Donald Trump is a pedophile. We're just chopping it up. If he was over there in the island with those Epstein girls, right? Isn't that sex trafficking and being a pedophile? I'm just saying. We're just chopping it up now. We're just chopping it up. I'm not saying that he is a pedophile, but if he's been doing that over there on that island with Epstein, don't you think he's a pedophile? And what should people do with pedophiles? What should you do with a pedophile? Crazy, right? Yeah. And speaking of Donald Trump, what did he call one of his number one fans back then that helped him get into office? What's her name? Marjorie Taylor Greene. And he calls her a lowlife? He calls her a lowlife and a traitor? A traitor to who and to what? A traitor to who and to what? We just saying. And she's resigning. But Donald Trump also said that he hoped to see her in the political field sometime in the near future. Scared the woman out of office. Made her resign. That was a real gangster move. That was a real gangster move. You know? And she was his biggest fan, one of his biggest fans, not to mention the fact that she was sort of upset because she got, she sort of felt she got passed over by a senator position. Yeah. They was telling her, don't do that right now. You'll lose. Some even say that she may be running for president in the near future, 2028. That's what they say now. I'm not pulling that out my backside. But what do you think? Marjorie Taylor Greene being a candidate for president in 2028. What do you think? And speaking of all of these big people, big-witted, like Donald Trump and Marjorie Taylor. We got some more big-witted, damn, can't get that word right, okay? Big-wigged, okay? Big-wig people, okay? Like Viola Ford Fletcher. If you don't know who Viola Ford Fletcher is, she was one of the oldest, or was the last oldest surviving victim of the Tulsa, Oklahoma massacre back in 1921. And all of that time, she's been fighting for reparations. And she died at 111 years old. We want to give you your flowers in this Chopping It Up presentation. So if you all can spare a second, let's give Viola Ford Fletcher a moment of silence. Thank you. Black America has not only lost her, we also lost H. Rap Brown. Yeah, aka Jamil Al-Amin. The former revolutionary or revolutionist for SNCC, Student Nonviolent Coordination Committee. Yeah, Coordination Committee. Yeah, SNCC, back in the day. And after he left SNCC, he moved over to the Black Panthers, where he became the Minister of Justice. H. Rap Brown died in prison at the age of 81. Died in prison. Now, during the Civil Rights era, and afterwards, he was jailed a lot and in prison, but he had got out of prison and then decided to just throw the rest of his life away when killing a deputy in Atlanta. Yeah, killed the police. And that was the last straw on that. With H. Rap Brown. Very revolutionary, very powerful, grand idealist. If you all wanted to know what revolutionary looks like in a person, because revolutionary or revolution is about change. It's not a bad thing. It's not evil. It's just change. And what they were fighting for was social change. Just as Viola Ford Fletcher was fighting for change. Just as Assata Shakur was fighting for change. And we lost all three of them in 1 year. We're just chopping it up right now. We're just chopping it up. We lost all three of them this year. And Jesse Jackson has got one foot on a banana peel. He just got out of the hospital. And at one point, he was on life support. And then you have Minister Louis Farrakhan. He's on his way out too. Then who do we have? The politicians? I mean, Reverend Jesse Jackson is a politician. He was a part of the Trilateral Commission. He has serious juice power. Serious juice power. And if you all do not know what the Trilateral Commission is about, go investigate it and see the things and the deals and the conversations and meetings and decisions that Jesse Jackson has some input on as a political figure and not just a pastor. Yeah, he's part of the club, but. But that's, everybody else is gone. Everybody from the civil rights movement. Huey's gone. Stokely Carmichael, gone. Yeah, Kwame Ture, whom some people said that he was a plant with King. I can't find that information. Does anybody know any information about that? I don't know any information about that. But yeah. So who do we have left? No one. So, who do you look up to now? Yourself? Is there any black male role models out there for young black men? That's in the big wig, on the big wig campaign? Anybody. And I don't care if they black or white as long as they are for humanity. What do you say? What do you say? Would you want someone in power that was for humanity and society as a whole versus color? I know that sounds impossible, but it's not. In fact about it, before the inauguration of Donald Trump during this term, I don't think that you saw a lot of people come out of the closet with their "we anti-black people" and these sundown towns that are emerging again. I believe that these towns only emerged and these people came out of the closet more since the inauguration of Donald Trump. What do you think? I mean, if you agree, let me know. Hey, no, this guy, the police is looking for him. What guy is that? I'm doing fine there. I'm from India. Hey, we got some people from India in the house. How are you all doing? We got George W. Bush. That's a joke. In the chat room, okay? Like I said, we're just chopping it up. But we got a lot of things coming up for you all tonight. Yeah. Another live as well, around midnight. We got another live for you all. But I got a question for some people that's out there. I had a question somewhere. I can't find it. I had wrote a couple of questions down, but maybe I didn't write it down. I thought I did. But it was a question. You know, just a little tab, just a little memo. But yeah. But like I said, I didn't mean to keep you long. We're just sitting here chopping it up, you know. I'm trying to see if I can find it. Oh, I know what I wanted to talk about. Last week, here in Chicago, you had a 14-year-old shot and killed downtown. His name was Armani. Good student. Wasn't a gangbanger. According to his classmates, they say that he was funny. That he, liked to see people at peace. But he was caught downtown. And right now, they are proposing a bill in the city for the city council to look at in regards to curfew for these teens, especially when a growing number of them is in one spot, like teen takeover. They call it a snap curfew. I don't know how that's going to work, Mayor Brandon Johnson. I do not know how a snap curfew is going to work. And he said that, according to WGN, they say that the snap curfew will come into play within 30 minutes of whenever the Chicago police decides that it's curfew for the young people, the teenagers. That's not going to work. Not for the city of Chicago. It's not going to work. You think that these young people are just destructive and they have no goals. They just want to be brutish. I highly disagree with you. They have no guidance and nothing to do. Nothing worth striving for, but just from my standpoint as an old school, as an OG, you try to tell these young people you have your whole life ahead of you. But many of them don't see any hope in society. And they most definitely don't believe in the government, okay? And many of them are rebuking and rejecting the form of education and curriculums that is being brought and presented to them throughout the public school systems in America. Just look at your dropout rates. Just look at the literacy rate among elementary and high schoolers who can't read, who can't do math on the level that they should. That's many of us, isn't it? Does that sound like your child? I'm just saying. If it does, maybe you need to spend more time helping to re-educate your child with math and reading. That's it. That's all. These children are smart. They just don't see no future. Do you see a future as an adult? Remember, we're just chopping it up. Do you see a future as an adult right now? Is the society in which you're living in and functioning in as a parent, is your future looking bleak? Are your finances in trouble. And I ask this question because many Americans, the majority of Americans, are in that boat, financially strapped. However, being financially strapped, we're still going to spend over $1 trillion in this year's season's holidays, yet we don't have no money. Damn. Is it a privilege to go shopping when you say that you're broke? Is it a privilege to go shopping when you say that you're broke? What would you sacrifice this holiday season for your children to have some toys? Some toys. What would you sacrifice? Would you be like that one lady who sacrificed her freedom for a cheerleading match for her daughter? Do y'all remember that report? Came out maybe 2 weeks ago. I believe I mentioned it in one of my lives. But this woman robbed, stole money, merchandise for her 14-year-old daughter cheerleading meeting. You know, all of them cheerleaders, you know. Would you do that? Would you do that for your child? Would you risk your freedom for your child? For some holiday gifts? They say that the average American will be set back $890, and they broke it all the way down to it being $130 a month until it's all paid off. Will you be one of those? I'm just saying. And this is for the big retailers, whereas you have the small retailers, they're worried that this may be their last year in business. Sorry about that. Yeah, like a lot of business owners feel that this may be their last season of having a business. We're just chopping it up. But we're going to get out of here. But I just wanted to drop that off to you and put some on your mind like that. But before we go, I want you to do yourself a favor, just out of curiosity, and try the IQ test. And see what your IQ test is, you know, the results is. You'll be amazed. You'll be amazed at the academic level that many of us are functioning on. But you have to remember also, when you take this test, that it's also biased. It's also biased. And I say that it's biased based upon the fact that when you research IQ for black people in America, you will find that they have the lowest IQ. And then you say, well, what's the average? And that's like 0.68. But then you go to a 7th grader, a 12-year-old, and their IQ is 0.97, which is the average in, you know, the average for an American. 97 through 117 for the average American. So the average American is functioning on a 7th grade level. No wonder conscious people have a hard time dealing with some people. I'm just saying. When you elevate, sometimes you have to separate. Not that you're better, but because you're rising above. Rising above more from the trash. You can't elevate if you don't separate. I'm just saying. And all of that fast money that you YNs out there getting is going to cost you a whole lot of slow time. Y'all think about that. It's your host with the most, MO on THEMOSHOW Chicago. And if you haven't been over to my other channel, MOPOWERZ, here on YOUTUBE, go check out those audiobook series that we left for you all, like Stolen Legacy, Black Man of the Now, As a Man Thinketh, The Chronological Order from Alchemy to Wicca, The Demonology of King James, The Message to the Black Man in America, The Fall of America, The Destruction of Black Civilization, The Miseducation of the Negro. Yeah. World 16 Crucified Saviors. We even got some of the ISIS papers over there, but not in the audiobook series. And if you are into traveling, go over to that channel as well, where we take you to Washington, we take you to California, we take you to Arizona, we take you to Maine, we take you to Vermont, we take you to Connecticut, we take you to New York, New Jersey, we take you to Philadelphia. Yeah. All through the map. MOPOWERZ here on YOUTUBE. And if you are into Chicago old school hip hop, spoken word, gangster rap, Chicago street clips, comedy, go over to my other channel, THEMOSHOW Classics. That's right, THEMOSHOW Classics. All one word, no space, here on YOUTUBE. And find the likes of Dion Cole, Diane Corder, Reggie Rich, Quintella, Mecca, Mano, and Dub, Raw Dog, Illa Flows, and a whole bunch of others. Killer Bloodline, Crucial Conflict, Twister, Psychodrama, Big Male. We got them all over there. Ken Dozier, Affiliated Fellas, Official Business. Take yourself over there to that channel if you are into old school hip hop, R&B, spoken word, comedy. THEMOSHOW Classics. All one word, no space, here on YOUTUBE. I got a fourth channel, Kung Fu Genius Space Kick Ass. Yes. So if you're into martial arts or highlights, go over to that channel. We're still working on that channel. We got to figure out what we're going to do with it. Kung Fu Genius Space Kick Ass. Thanks for viewing, you all. We'll be back later on. We got some uploads to do today, and we'll have another live for you tonight at midnight. Thanks for viewing, you all. Peace out. Thanks for chopping it up with me. Never ever give up on your dreams. Never. And on your way out the door, make sure you hit the subscribe button, the notification bell, and the word all to help ensure that you get notifications when we upload videos here on YOUTUBE. Thanks for viewing, you all. Peace out. Never give up on your DREAMS. That's my time.